Okay. Hi guys. Welcome to the Actuarial Academy. We are going to start with your orientation session for CS2. Okay. It will be a very quick session. I'll explain what are the do's, what are the don'ts, what does each chapter mean, what will be our game of action, plan of action for the next 3 to 4 months. Okay. And how do we proceed about everything. Cool. So we'll start with it. First of all, a small introduction about myself. Myself from Saman area. I have been teaching CS2 for more than a year now. We'll be assisted by Virat sir. He's a FIA CFA Virat sir. Virat Shah, he'll be assisting us with the CS2 process, but the subject will be taught by me. Yeah. I've been teaching for 1 year. I've cleared almost 7 papers from IFOA in the first attempt, all papers up till now. And I'll be teaching you all the CS2 batch. Okay. This was a quick introduction about myself, starting with CS2. So basically, what is the name of the subject CS2? It is nothing but it is risk modeling and survival analysis. The name of the subject is risk modeling and survival analysis. I hope I am audible to everyone. Please let me know if you are not able to hear me out. Perfect. Thank you, Edwin. Thank you, Om. Okay, perfect. Starting. So this subject is basically a culmination of your two of your subjects from the past. It is nothing but CT4 and CT6. Okay. So CS2 is made up of two subjects from before, which is nothing but CT4 prior to 2019. It was CT4 and CT6. Okay. Your chapters 1 to 11 completely come from CT4, and your chapters 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, and 20 come from CT6. Okay. So if you are practicing past papers prior to 2019, you are going to solve CT4 and CT6 papers. Clear? Before I go till there, what do you mean by risk modeling? So basically, when we are modeling any risk. So all the models that we talk about, wherever there is a modeling, you're finding out the premium for insurance company and everything comes under this. Okay. So basically this is the fun part. This is the maths part that we're going to say. Similarly, we have survival analysis. What do you mean by survival analysis? This is more connected to your CM1. If you would have heard of your constant force of mortality, and then we calculate mu, correct? How do you make your life tables, correct? If you would have heard of AM92, then we have ELT15, correct? So how are these tables made? How do you proceed and everything? So this is what we learn in survival analysis. So basically CT4 is nothing but a part of your survival analysis, and your risk modeling confined from CT6. Basic idea, very simple. Okay. One thing that I would like to make clear before starting the whole orientation session is please do not take CS2 very lightly. As you would have heard, CS2 is one of the toughest paper to clear. Understanding the concept is not difficult, but writing the paper, completing the paper is what makes this paper difficult. Okay. Again, we will have two papers here. One is CS2A and one is CS2B. I will not get into the nitty-gritties of 70/30 everything. You know about that. But one thing that you have to learn here is your CS2B is as important as CS2A. This is not going to be like CS1, wherein I would say that if you study the R paper 20 days prior to your exam, you'll be able to crack it. No, you have to study your R well in advance. You have to revise it twice or thrice to pass this paper because CS2B has a lot of codes. Okay, a lot of codes. When I say lot of codes, one code can make up of 10 to 15 lines, and there are such 21 chapter codes that we have in CS2B. Okay. And there are minute things that we have to look after. We have to look at nitty gritties. We have to apply it together. So please make sure that you are not taking this subject very lightly, because this is going to be one of the difficult papers that you are going to clear. Right. So please make sure that you focus on your paper A as well as paper B. what I'm going to do further is I will show you the plan of action, what we have planned. I'll try to explain each chapter. I'll just touch and go each chapter. What does each chapter mean? And then you can ask any question related to that. Okay. So starting with first, what we are going to start. So the first part that we are going to take up is chapter number, the easiest part, which is nothing but your chapter number 15, 16, oh sorry, 15, 18, and 19, 20. These are the four chapters that we are going to start first off with. These are your most easiest chapter, correct? Your most easiest chapter. And this is the one set of chapters where you can easily score marks. There is no chance of losing marks here. This is the most easiest chapter. Chapter 15 is literally your revision of CS1, right? We are going to study about everything about your distributions all over again. Reinsurance. What do you mean by reinsurance? So basically, when an insurance company is giving you out loans, okay, when they are giving you out insurance, when they are giving you out loans, what do they do? Basically, they are insuring you against the risk, correct? But they are not only insuring you, they are insuring thousand other customers as well, correct? Suppose if there's an event like accident or something like that, or suppose earthquake or something like that, the company would have to bear a lot of losses, right? The company would have to pay out a lot of losses, claims. So, to mitigate the risk for the company, the insurance company takes insurance which is called as reinsurance. When an insurance company takes a insurance, it is called as reinsurance. We are going to study two major models here, and connected to it, we have your risk models and this. So 15, 18, 19, 20 is the first set of chapters that we are going to study here. These are going to be our easiest chapter. We are going to study this in the month of May. Okay, so today is your orientation session, and we are going to start from today itself, which is like tomorrow itself, and we are going to start with chapter number 15. Rather than going from chapter number 1, we are starting from chapter number 15 since most of the people from IFOA have just gotten over with the exams right now, right? So to just keep it a very simple and lighter lectures and lighter chapters, we are starting with chapter number 15 from this week onwards. Okay. One thing also that you would like to know here is like CS1, CM1, CM2, you would have seen there's a story behind every chapter, every subject. For example, learning interest rate, learning discounting accounting, right? Accumulating, sorry. Then learning about your loan table, then your project appraisal and everything, right? It had a story, it had some connections. One thing in CS2, there's no connection to any chapter. So, for example, if I'm doing chapter number 2, okay, I missed chapter number 3 and 4, I can still do chapter number 5. Or if I was doing chapter number 6, I somehow missed chapter number 7 and I started again at 8, I can easily do that because there is no connection to your chapters here. There is no interconnecting things here. Everything is standalone. Okay. So one thing you need to note, everything is standalone. There is no connection. There is no link to anything here. Okay. To start with, first of all, how many of you all are from IFO and anyone here from IAI? Anyone appearing from Indian Institute or everyone is from IFOA? Anyone here from Indian Institute? Perfect. So your IFO exam dates for CS2 are nothing but 15th and 17th of September 2026. 15th will be your CS2 A paper, 17th will be your CS2 B paper. Okay. And if I talk about IAI, it is somewhere in November. Okay. It is on 19th, sorry, no, it is on 29th November and no, 29th October and 3rd, uh, 29th October and 3rd November. Correct? Now, if you see from IFOA perspective, we only have 19 weeks. Okay, we only have 19 weeks to cover up our portion. One thing that I make sure here is we are going to complete our portion exactly 40 days before the exam. Okay. I am guaranteeing you, if you follow my deadlines every weekly targets, you are going to complete the portion 40 days prior to the exam, including your hour. Okay. So basically, what do I mean by this? 13 weeks, we are going to try and complete our portion. Okay. And the rest of your 6 to 7 weeks, we are going to do revision. Okay. How will we revise and everything? I will talk to you about that in detail in the upcoming during this session only. But let's first focus on this 13 weeks. These 13 weeks are going to be very crucial for CS2. Okay. Please make sure that you do not take it lightly. Okay. In the month of May, I'm not telling you have to study for 8 to 12 hours. In the month of May, you can study for say 3 or 4 hours daily, and that will be enough. But as we proceed to June and July, you have to start studying for 8 to 12 hours. And gradually, the time is going to increase only because since now CS2 exam or your IFO exams in general have become offline, there are a lot of things that you have to need to remember. You have to learn a lot of things. You have to learn a lot of points. And that is why this paper becomes more difficult. CS2 becomes difficult, first of all, because it is very vast. The portion is very vast. There are a lot of small nitty-gritties that you need to look after. Second, R model programming. These things make your CS2 difficult and tough. The concepts when you see are going to be very easy. The concepts when we learn it is going to be very easy. It is not going to be very tough. But when I say, just a second, when I say the paper will be hard, means the questions will be hard. There'll be a lot of things to remember. So that will make your CS2 a little difficult. Okay. So first chunk that we are going to see is the yellow part. 15, 18, 19, 20, the easiest chapters of CS2. And people who have done CM2, you have already done reinsurance, so it is going to be very easy for you. Okay. Even if not, every chapter is going to be in very detail when we study in the recorded lectures. Okay. So this is what your first chunk is going to be 15, 18, 19, 20. Any marks lost here is not going to be acceptable because this is one part where you are going to score the most. Okay. This is the part where you are going to score the most. Second, I talk about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This chunk. What is this chunk? So basically, this chunk talks about how to find your mean. So how do you use your constant force of mortality or UDD assumptions and everything and make your models to predict the mortality. Okay. So chapter number 6 is again a revision of your CM1. Okay. It will talk about how to calculate your mu, your TPX, TQX and everything. Okay. Again, if you don't remember these, we are going to learn in detail in the recorded lectures and in the lectures in the class. So don't worry, but yeah, it is going to be somewhere related to your CM1. Okay. In chapter number 7, we are going to basically learn two of the models again to predict your mu. And chapter number 8 is nothing but your Cox proportional model. In general, 6, 7, 8 is a culmination of how do you calculate your mortality. Okay. How do you predict your mortality? How do you calculate your mortality? How do you calculate your mu? Okay. So this is what 6, 7, 8 is all about. Then comes chapter number 9, exposed to risk, one of my favorite chapters. Again, 6, 7, 8, calculation wise is very simpler. It is very easy to understand. So you are not going to have any problem. 6, 7, 8 is also going to be very interesting for you. Okay. Talking about chapter number 9. Chapter number 9 is one of my, by far, my favorite chapter. This is exposed to risk. What does exposed to risk mean? Basically, we need to find what is my expected average lifetime a person is going to live. Okay. So for example, if you are assessing for a year, say 2020, so how many lives were present in 2020? In very vague terms, how many total lives were alive during the year of 2020? That's it. That is what exposed to risk is. It is going to be a very easy chapter, a very small chapter, and it is going to be very easy. We are going to create diagrams and learn about it. So you need not worry about that. This set of chapters are the ones which are called as deterministic chapters. Okay. Here, your rates are going to be deterministic for a particular age. There's not going to be a lot of uncertainty which we tell, the stochastic part which we tell, it is not going to be there here. Okay. It is going to be a deterministic models. Everything is based on assumption. If your assumptions are wrong, your model is wrong. If your assumption is right, your model is right. Okay. So please make sure that when you are studying this, you remember the assumptions as well, because in the exams they do ask assumptions. Okay. So this is your 6, 7, 8. We are going to again go through in detail while we are studying, but yeah, this is just an overview, quick overview. Then chapter number 10 and 11. Again, very interesting. Here you only learn about six tests. What are this six tests for? So basically, if this is my graph, for example, if this is my graph, and I say this is the mortality, okay? In the start, the mortality is something above, then it goes flattens again at the age of 19, 20, it is above, then it goes flat and everything. Correct? If you see, there are few bumps. There are few bumps because here people are reckless. We can say people in the age of 18 to 22 are reckless. They are not having any responsibilities. They ride bikes, they fall into accidents and everything. Here, the infant mortality is higher. That is what we know, correct? But for an insurance company to charge premium, they cannot do like this. For the infants, they charge for 0 to 1 years, they charge a premium of let's say 500. Okay. From 1 to 2, they directly charge 1,000. Since the mortality increasing is double, so we also charge the double the premium. We cannot do that way. The insurance company, if it does this, if they increase the premiums with such a major jumps, people are not going to buy their insurance policies. Very simple. Suppose if today I was paying 500 and tomorrow the company is asking for 1,000 bucks, I am not going to pay. I will switch my company, rather go to a company who gave me a insurance premium of 700 year and 1,000 year, or 700 year and 900 year. A jump of 200 is justified, but a jump of 500, for example, is not justified. Again, these are vague examples just to explain. So, to smoothen these curves, to make these curves a smooth line so that we charge a proper premium throughout the life of the insurance policy, is what we do through graduation. That is your graduation and methods of graduation. Okay. Your yellow part consists of 10 to 15% of your marks. Okay. This consists of 20 to 25% of your marks. So chances of this a question coming from this is definite. One question in your paper A is always seen from chapter number 6 to 11. Similarly, 15, 18, 19, 20, 10 to 15% marks. One question in paper A can be seen almost every time. Okay. The third set of questions that I'm going to go is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a chapter. This is a chapter which is stochastic. Okay. So basically, what does this model? Markov chain and Markov jump. So if I talk about Markov chains and Markov jumps, what do I say? So basically, Markov chain and Markov jumps. If I want to price my if I want to check how many customers are entering my shop in a day, okay? So when I'm talking about discrete, okay, discrete, which means at the end of the day, at the end of month, every week, correct? So when I'm modeling how many customers are entering my shop on daily basis, that is discrete. And to check that, we use Markov chain. A very common thing or the major thing that they teach here is in Markov chain is the no claim discount. What is this no claim discount model? Basically, suppose if I am a policy holder, okay? I have a car here, I have taken a car and the car is there. I have taken this car, I have taken an insurance from HDFC, okay? HDFC Ergo, for example. And I have taken an insurance from HDFC Ergo. First year, I did not make any claims. In the first year, I did not make any claims, no claims. Okay. Since I did not make any claim, all the premium amount was an income from the income from for the company, correct? For HDFC, it was an income, correct? So what does HDFC do? HDFC will tell in the second year, what I will do, I will give you a 10% discount on my premium. Similarly, if I don't bang my car in the third year, it will give me 20% discount and so on and so forth. Correct? But suppose in the third year, I banged my car and I claimed an insurance. So it will tell me that now you will have to go down and pay the full premium in the next year. Or you will have to only pay, you will have to now pay the 90% of the premium. You will not get 20% discount, you will only get 10% discount. Okay. If I don't bank my car, it is giving me profit. It is giving me a benefit of paying less premium. But if I, let's say, uh, I take a claim from the company. So the car insurance company is telling me now that since you have made a claim, you have made a loss for the company. Claims are going to be loss for the company, correct? So if I've taken claims from them, then I will have to pay more premium in the upcoming year. And this no claim discount model is seen in your real life as well. In your real life, if you make a claim, then you have to pay more premium. If you don't make a claim, you get a discount on your premium, be it your vehicle insurance, be it your life insurance, general insurance, everything. Yeah. So this is one real life example that we are going to learn in your chapter number 1, 2, 3. No claim discount, very simple, very easy. Question from chapter number 1 to 5 is definite to come. This holds a percentage of 20 to 25%, definitely. So this is again one area where you can score easily. It is going to be easy. You only have to understand the concept rather than bucking up everything. If you start understanding things from day one, this chapter is going to give you marks and it is going to be very easy for you. Yeah, we are going to learn in a way where we do not directly buck up anything or look at the solution, but try to understand the concept, what the question is trying to say, and then move forward. We are not here to buck up, we are here to understand things, right? Similarly, Markov jump. So this was discrete. If I want to talk about continuous, suppose healthy sick death model, you would have learned about your healthy sick death model. So, if I want to find the force of mortality, which is nothing but mu, what does force of mortality mean? Your instantaneous change of rate. So basically, how 1 second I was in healthy state, the other second I went to the sick state. Or in 1 second I was in sick state and I was converted to healthy, back to healthy because I recovered. Or I was healthy right now, I died right away, so healthy to death. So that instantaneous change is what we are going to look at in Markov jump, chapter number 5. That instantaneous change, the change that happens quickly is what we are going to look at chapter number 5. Okay. All in all, it is going to be very easy. And again, a question from this, more than one question, two questions in exam are surely seen, short in your paper A. Definitely one or two questions have to be seen in from this chapter. Okay. And these are going to be a little trickier questions. So understanding the concept is more important than bucking up your questions. Okay. Then talking about the next set of questions. I'll just use purple all over again. 13 and 14 time series. This is by far my favorite chapters. After 9, I would say 13, 14 is my favorite most chapter. This chapter standalone has a 10-15% weightage. Time series is one chapter that you will see in paper A and paper B both. The application of paper A is seen in paper B. Real life examples can be seen in paper B. What do you mean by time series basically? Time series is nothing but, suppose if this is a mortality of a person, so basically it was high in the starting, okay, then it became low, then COVID came, and again it became high. For example, this is a very vague example, but just try to understand. Now, this is a mortality for say 18-year-old, correct? It was higher in the start and then it decreased, then COVID came and it became higher, correct? Now, I have to use this data to predict my future. Okay. Time series is nothing but looking at my past, understanding my past to predict my future. So basically, if I'm given a sales data for 20 years, monthly data, quarterly data, yearly data, I have to use that sales data standalone to study the past and predict the future. Only sales data. That's it. That is what we would be given, and we have to make our models and everything. Time series is a chapter which definitely comes in paper A and most of the time comes in paper B. One question from time series is seen in both the papers. Time series is one of the most important chapters of your chapter CS2. Okay, CS2 has a lot of weightage for time series. Okay, again, time series is very easy if you study with us. We are going to make it very easy for you. Let's say paper A, paper B, both of them. And time series is one of the biggest chapter that we see. Almost 20 to 25 hours of lectures are going to be there for time series. Okay. When I say 20 to 25 hours of lectures, it means a lot. It means a lot. But the weightage is very high, so it is very important. Time series is one of the most important chapters of your CS2. Okay. And last chunk, these are 12, 16, 17, and 21. The things marked in green are those chapters which were introduced in 2019 for actuarial science. Prior to 2019, these green chapters were not there. They were not there. So anything that you get for these are going to be after 2019 only. So there are a very few questions to practice, but this attempt onwards, we are going to give you more questions to practice for these questions, correct? More questions to practice on these chapters. So yeah, it is going to be good for you for practicing, but there are very few practice questions given by the institute. Okay. So these chapters are relatively new. The marks holding for 12, 16, 17 compiled, if I talk about these three, it is almost 10 to 15%. The weightage is a little lesser, but what do you mean by mortality projection? Mortality projection is again predicting the future mortality based on the current affairs. Okay. So if you see the infrastructure, the medical advancements, the mortality is reducing. The mortality is reducing, it is improving, correct? So for example, 20 years ago, if a 60-year-old person could survive till age 75, in today's time, that same 60-year-old person would survive till age 80. So there has been a shift in your mortality. So that is what we study in chapter number 12, mortality projection. Okay, we have two or three models here. We are going to study that. So this is mortality projection. Talking about extreme value theory. So why do we study extreme value theory? What is extreme value theory? When I say extreme value theory, basically, if you see this graph, you have seen a graph like this, correct? I'll come to this graph. What do you mean by extreme? So the events whose severity is low, okay, but the losses are high. The chances of that event happening is very low. For example, floods, natural calamities, or let's say wildfires, correct? These events happen very few times. They are not going to happen very frequently. They occur very rarely. But when the claims come, the size of the claims are huge and it can make the company go bankrupt, right? For example, if you remember the 2008 stock market crash, in one day, 40 to 50 CR of money went off. People were people were bankrupt. They were left for nothing, good for nothing, right? Then dot-com bubble of 2001 to COVID 2020, the US wildlife fires. These are those events which are catastrophic events. They occur very rarely, but when they do, they create a huge impact on our economy. So, to study those frequency, which is low frequency, higher severity claims, we study extreme value theory. If you see, this is nothing but your claim amount, correct? Your x-axis is your claim amount. Your y-axis is nothing but the probability, correct? So what we are studying here? We are studying this part. We are studying this right side tail. What is this right side tail? If you see claim amount, which means higher claim amount, the chances of probability are very low. Low probability, high claim amount. That is what we are trying to study. We are trying to study this yellow part. So this is what extreme value theory is. In normal loss distributions, what we study about this. But This is which happens on a regular basis. We have a lot of information about this. We study about this. But extreme value theory, the catastrophic events are not happening regularly. We have a very small data to study from, correct? And that is why extreme value theory becomes very important. We are going to study two models here as well. Okay. Very simple, but the formulas are huge. You have to learn the formulas in detail. You have to learn these formulas. From day one, I'm going to tell you that please do not keep things for the end. In the end, it will become very overwhelming to learn everything together. As and when I say things to learn, things to do, please follow my instructions. Please follow the weekly targets that we post. It will help you a lot to clear your CS2. If you start piling up things from today onwards, it is going to be very difficult for you to clear CS2. You have to meet the deadlines that we give you. I know you most of you all are studying, you all are working, that is fine, but you have to make time to study CS2. Okay. The exam is on 15th and 17th September. I'll tell you what my plan overall looks like, but yeah, you have to make sure that you're studying properly. Okay. Now, talking about copula, what is copula? Basically, copula is nothing but suppose if one of my data confined from two distribution, let's say gamma and Pareto. Okay, for example, random example, the data has been given. It comes from gamma also. It has a properties of gamma. It has properties of Pareto. So now, how do I study that? So that joint distribution, that joint probability is what we study under copula. Always your data is not going to come from one distribution. When it comes from more than one distribution, we use copula to study that. The joint probability or the joint probability is what we are going to probability, correct. Probability. Correct. Joint probability is what we are going to study here. Last but not the least, machine learning. This chapter alone again has a 10% weightage in your CS2. Again, it was introduced in 2019. It is with respect to your theory part, it is going to be a lot. There's a lot of theory to study in chapter 21, but it is going to be easy. I will make sure that we make this easy. Okay. Machine learning is basically adapting. Your machine is adapting. So you're making your machine adapt to the components that you put in and using that machine to predict your future. Using that machine to tell the similarities, the differences, etc. Okay. So machine learning is not very easy, but if you study it in the correct manner, the correct way, it becomes easy. Okay. So that is machine learning for you. Overall, if I see this is 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and somewhere you can just add your 90, 100 here. Okay. Did I miss out on any chapter? These are a basic overview of what each chapter look like. Okay. There's a lot of things that we need to talk yet about, but this is what your overall chapter split look like. Okay. Now, talking about how do we study. Okay. I will first tell if you have been studying with the Actuarial Academy before, you know how do we go about. Okay. First of all, you are going to watch the recorded lectures that we provide. Okay. These are going to be given to you on the app. Correct. You look at these recorded lectures, you make your proper notes. Okay. So for CS2, everyone has to maintain a 400 notebook. You have to maintain a 400 pages notebook compulsorily. Everyone has to maintain this notebook and everyone has to write whatever is going on in the lecture. Please just don't watch the lectures. You will feel that you're understanding, but the next day when you wake up, you're going to go blank with what are you studying. Okay, so you are going to maintain a 400 pages notebook for your CS2, and this notebook is going to be your Bible for the next 3 to 4 months. Before your exam, you're just going to revise this notebook and go for your exam. That's it. Okay. So this notebook is going to be very important. Okay. You're going to make your notes here, whatever we are writing in the lecture. This notebook is your Bible. That's it. One word. It is your Bible. Okay. After watching the recorded lectures, you're going to read the textbook. Okay. You're going to read the textbook. You're going to solve the practice questions behind the textbook. You're going to solve the assignment questions that are given. Now, there are going to be few doubts that you come up with. These doubts will be taken in the doubt solving lecture, both online and offline. So this doubt solving lecture will be to ask your doubts from your. Before solving this, we will also have a small revision session where we do the revision of the whole chapter. So basically, you see the lectures, you read the textbook, then we do a revision where in the revision we are going to look at what we have studied in the whole chapter. I summarize that in the live lecture. Okay, so that will be a live lecture. We summarize everything in crisp and detail. Then you solve your questions. You have any doubt solving, you can ask in the doubt solving session. You appear for your test and then you solve your ah. Okay, one suggestion that I want from everyone here is so basically from the feedback that I have gotten from all the previous attempts, I am trying to integrate studying R when you are doing your chapters only, rather than keeping R towards the end since CS2 R is very huge and vast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate R while we study chapters only. So basically, once you're done with this doubt solving, before your test or after your test, as per your progress, I'm going to tell you to start your R also so that we are simultaneously completing our R. I don't want you all to keep your R for the end. Okay. One thing you need to remember that CS2 is not only by, you can't pass only by paper A. You have to get good marks in paper B. All the students who do not clear CS2 is because of this CS2B. This R is one thing that fails a lot of people from CS2. CS2B is as important as CS2A. Please make sure you do not lose your this on CS2B. That is going to make sure that is going to decide either you pass or fail in your CS2. Very simple in simple terms. Okay. So I am going to incorporate your, but again, I will give you targets. Your work is to complete on those targets. Of your task is to do that targets. I can give you targets, but if you don't complete, it is going to be very difficult. And in the end, you're going to just sit and cry. Okay. Sorry. Also, one more thing. CS2, understanding concepts, solving questions, this will be very easy. I'm going to tell you, this is going to be easy. What makes it difficult? One is R, and second is your past papers. If you see your past papers, the papers are such that when you read the question, it will be very difficult for you to understand. There'll be 70% questions which are straightforward. This you will understand very easily. This you will be able to solve, and you have to make sure that you get 60 plus from these 70% questions. There'll be 30% questions which will be tricky. And these tricky questions are where you lose marks. Okay. You have to make sure this 70% is where you aim. 70% should be very crisp and clear. So that if you, even if you have some problems in this 30%, you are still passing CS2. So CS2 is not like just studying and giving an exam. It is proper planning, how you plan your subject and study. That is what CS2 is all about. Okay. 70 and 30. Okay. So I want to give more time to past paper and your revision. I want to give major chunk of your time in past paper and revision. More than 45 days I want to give for past paper and revision. Okay, so I want to complete my portions 50 days prior to your exam. I'll show you the timeline that I've created for this attempt. But my aim is I want to give major time to your past paper and revision because CS2 is only paper where past papers and revision is going to help you to pass this paper. Okay, sorry. So this is about your chapters. I will just show you all the timeline that I've created for you all. I will be sharing that timeline with you on Drive, and I will be asking you all to like share with me how what is your progress that is happening. I hope you can see the screen here. So basically, this is your CS2. We start with 15 and we end on 1st August. Your exam is on 15th and 17th September. Please make sure you all make these deadlines as your tough deadlines because if you don't follow these deadlines, it will be very difficult for you to pass CS2. There are a lot of things that you need to do. You have to watch your lectures, reading, textbook, booklet, test, and everything. So please make sure you follow the deadlines. I'll be sharing this with everyone. so that you update this sheet for me, and then I can guide you how about you go. Okay, how to go about for your CS2. This is the timeline that I am planning to. So 1st August is somewhere I'm planning to complete your CS2. Okay. Coming back to one note, my aim, my aim here is in the month of May, I am planning to do chapter number 15, 18, 19, and 20. Okay. 15, 18, 19, and 20 is something I'm trying to complete in month of May. Similarly, here I start with 6, 7, 8. In the month of June, I try to complete 6, 7, 8. When I say these chapters, I am also talking about R. I am not keeping R for the end. I am talking that we simultaneously solve R. So probably not in month of May because we are still studying. We have not completed studying and revision. So in month of May, there will be no R. But from month of June onwards, it will be R plus watching new lectures, plus solving, plus revision, everything, plus test. Okay. So from month of June, we are going to go full in, we are going to go all in and complete everything. We are going to start working on everything. In month of May, it will be very simple. You are just watching lectures, you are solving, and that's it. बाहर से बाहर मैं कर दूंगा एसी से बंद कर देना ठीक है done okay so from in month of May we are going to go a little slow, we are going to go a little chill, we are going to do only solving and revision and watching your lectures, but month of June onwards we are going to start with hard test revision, a lot of new things. Okay, so please make sure that you're not taking any holidays, you're not planning to go out anywhere in month of June because you will miss out on a lot of things if you miss on one thing as well. Okay. One thing you need to note about CS2 is either the paper is lengthy and a little simple, or either your paper is tricky and shorter. Okay. This attempt, the recent attempt of your April, the first case was applicable. The paper was lengthy, but it was a little simple, but it was a lengthy paper. Okay. Students couldn't attempt for more than 20 marks in the paper B. It was that lengthy. Okay. You get only 1 hour 50 minutes for paper B, and for paper A, you get only 3 hours 20 minutes. I hope you know about this. I am not going into these basic nitty-gritties because you have already given more than 2 papers at least while coming to CS2. So I'm not going into basic nitty-gritties. I'm trying to talk about new things so that you get the most of it. Okay. So this attempt was lengthy and simple. So you have to maintain your typing speed. How do you do that? So you're not going to solve anything in your notebook. Okay, your notebook is your Bible where you only write new things. Your laptop is one where you're going to practice everything on Word. IFOA, your exams are not on pen and paper, it is on Word. So you have to solve all your question on your words. And weekly, time by time, as time goes, from month of June, I'm going to check your Word documents only. I'm not going to take your doubts if it is on pen and paper. I'm only going to take doubts if it is on Word. Okay. I want you all to start practicing on Word because a lot of students are failing just because the paper is lengthy and you're not able to type it out quickly. So please make sure that you do not lag there and you properly make your typing speed as much as possible on your Word. Okay. There are going to be monthly, weekly tests. As we go about with your chapters, there are going to be mock tests, there is going to be assignments, there is going to be okay. So now this is your plan till August 1st. Okay, August 1st, we try to complete all your tests, your assignment, all your portion, all your R. Okay, what will be my plan from August to till your exam date? This is the final leg, final phase. Okay, as in time as in the time goes, we will check. I will give you 1 week buffer also here so that you can complete all your backlog. But what will be my plan of action here? Basically, from this cohort onwards, we are starting something called as revision lectures. Okay. In the previous attempt for CS2, what did we do? So basically, For paper A and paper B, we kept revision sessions for chapter 21 and few more chapters. What were those sessions basically about? I went through the concept quickly and then solved exam style questions, which are your past paper questions. I solved for both paper A and paper B exam style past paper questions. I give you the mindset of your thinking, how you need to think in your exam if a particular question shows up. And because of that, since there was one question in this paper, chapter 21, for chapter number 21, all of my students have done extremely well in those questions. Because we took revision session in such a manner where we solved past papers with my students. They gave me the answers, I just gave them the thinking. And that helped them to clear this paper. That helped them to gain full marks in those questions where every student feel it is very difficult. Okay. So that revision session is what we are going to plan in the last 40 days, where we practice exam style questions and we also do your revision for all the chapters. So if you don't complete your portion by 1st of August, this revision will be of no use for you because you're still following on the chapters only and the revision part goes away. Okay. With that, we also have 3 mock exams that we are going to take, 3 mock exams, correct? And there is always going to be doubt solving, open doubt solving. If you have been a student at TAA, you already know what are open doubt solving. Okay, you come, you ask your doubts, you ask all your doubts one on one with me, and you go home. Simple as that. Okay, so all of this will happen in the last 40 days of your exam. But to reach there, we have to start today itself. So we are starting today. Today is your orientation, basic orientation session, which is on 3rd of your May. From tomorrow onwards, I'm going to start posting. So by today evening, I will post your demo lecture link where we are going to start with chapter number 15. Okay. You are going to watch those lecture. I'm going to put the target for this week on the group only. And next Saturday onwards, we start with our doubt solving and revision session. So next Saturday will be your doubt solving and revision session for your chapter number 15. Chapter number 15 is a very basic chapter. So we are going to do the revision and doubt solving both together only since it is a very easy chapter. Okay. Now we need to decide a timing for your CS2 batch. So regularly we have two options. Either we do Saturday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. or we do Sunday after 1 p.m. Which time is suitable for everyone? We have two options. One is Saturday 6 to 9 and second after 1 p.m. Sunday after 1 p.m. Please quickly reply. Guys, please unmute and tell me which time will be suitable for everyone. Saturday 6 to 9. Can we lock on this? Saturday 6 to 9 p.m. Edwin, Om, Suhani, Mahi.
Yes, sir. So both times are okay
Yes,
for
sir.
me.
That's fine.
Saturday 6 to 9, right? So we'll lock our session timings from Saturday 6 to 9. We can change it as per our convenience. Like we can shift it here one day or one day before or after as per everyone's availability. But our regular lecture timings will be Saturday 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So next Saturday we'll be meeting and we'll be starting with chapter number 15. Today, since it is an orientation session, people from Mumbai attending online is fine. But I expect people from Mumbai to come down to the center and attend the session offline because it gives me more in like it also helps me to understand what are you progressing, how are you progressing, and meeting in person helps you to understand various new things. People outside Mumbai, obviously there'll be online link shared, but I want people from Mumbai base to come to the center offline. Okay. Anything I'm missing? Dead timeline is what I've already showed you all. I'll share with that, so I'll not go in the nitty-gritties of the timeline part. But yeah, this is basic outline that we are going to start. We are going to start with yellow, then we move to the blue part, then we go to the purple, the first purple part, then we go to the second purple part, and the green part is the last part that we go to. This is going to be the last thing that we are going to do. Okay. All in all, I would say that this paper is vast. There are a lot of things that you need to remember. So you have to be there with me throughout. You have to focus on R model programming. Of course, I have made R model programming lecture such that it is going to be very easy for you. It is in depth. It is very crisp and in depth. All my lectures for paper A and paper B are going to be very in depth and crisp. So I am not going to miss out on anything. So you also make sure to write down everything properly, even for our coding. Please write down the code so that you can understand the code, how it's happening. And learning the code is not an option. Understanding the code is option. Because if you start mugging up, there are more than 100 codes that you need to learn. And in the exam, you are going to miss out on one or the other code. So learning is not an option. Understanding is an option. One more thing that we do here is when your R model program data comes, if you know your R model data comes, I think 10 or 15 days ago, 2 weeks prior to your exam, correct? So give you predictions. We give you predictions on which chapter does the data confine from. Okay. 15 days prior, we give you one prediction. And after your A paper, we give you one more prediction that after looking at today's paper, this is what you can expect in the next paper. What are these predictions? These predictions are not that only study these 5 chapters and go in the exam. I'm not telling that. These predictions are you give priority to these chapters and then study the rest of the chapters. Okay, that is what these predictions mean. But since 2 to 3 attempts passed, 2 to 3 attempts, we are very proud to announce that whatever predictions we make are 100% true in your exam. It was 100% matching in the past 2 to 3 attempts. So students who have followed our instructions, followed our predictions have scored really well in your paper A and paper B. Even paper B, where students fail to get marks, have scored tremendously well when we talk about the students. Okay. So that is one thing that we do. We are going to be there throughout. I'm going to be there. Viraj sir is going to be there throughout. You can always contact us. You can ask on the group. Everything is going to be there. So yeah, all in all, we are trying to finish your portion. We will finish your portion 45 days to 50 days prior. Okay. But you have to be consistent while studying. You have to be diligent while studying and you have to give your 100%. I guarantee you, if you follow my instructions, you are going to clear CS2 paper in your first attempt only. Okay, so this is about CS2. I don't think so I'm missing out on anything. If I still think there is something that I've missed on, I will convey it in the further lectures. But this is overall what CS2 looks like. Okay, how many weeks and everything I have divided every chapter that is available on the CS2 timeline portal. But yeah, overall, this is what CS2 in a gist is about. And this is how we are going to proceed for your September-November 2026 attempt. Any doubts anyone has can now take it up with me. You can unmute and ask your doubts. Anyone who has any doubts? Suhani, Mahi, Edwin. Anyone any doubts?
So, like last attempt, I had done I think around 11 chapters, and I had made notes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this attempt, have you changed anything that I'll have to remake
Okay.
the notes
So
with?
this attempt onwards, we have changed all your paper A lectures. In the last attempt, we changed all your paper B lectures. But again, the content is going to be almost same. But again, I would recommend you that you revisit it. It will be easier for you. It will be a quick revision. Again, you have done it in the month of December, I assume. So it has already been 6 months that you have done that. So it will be easier for you. It will not be nothing. It will be nothing new for you. But yeah, I will recommend that you watch the lectures once again. It will only help you to grow.
And sir, has it like you were saying कि you have remade the paper A lectures, तो आपने वो
करेक्ट।
already upload कर दिया है क्या वो
नहीं,
app पे?
ऐप पे अभी तक अपलोड नहीं हुआ है। एज ऑफ नाउ ओनली 15 चैप्टर का एक्सेस आई एम गोइंग टू गिव यू टुडे, एंड फर्दर एज वी मूव अहेड द न्यू लेक्चर्स विल बी अपलोडेड ऑन द ऐप, नॉट टुडे।
Okay.
द न्यू
And sir, is
लेक्चर्स
it
विल,
possible
या
that you upload the new lectures soon? Because if like because I've studied, so if I can do some आगे के chapters on my pace, so that's why.
correct, correct. So basically, I am making those chapters. I'll take some time, but yeah, I'll try to upload it as soon as possible. Like I'll try to upload in like next week all the 18, 19, 20 chapters. Till 20th, I'll try to upload all the chapters. It will take some time for me, but yeah, I will try to upload it as soon as possible. Since I'm making it, so I'll take some time. But yeah, our lectures, if you want, everything is on the app and they are all new. So if you want to start with R, you can do that. But yeah, you can follow the deadlines. And I think if you're giving another paper, you can also start that. Because if you have already studied 11 chapters, it is going to be easy for you to club it with another paper as well.
Okay, sir.
So we
Thank you
can,
so
like,
much.
you can talk to me about this on the call if you want. We can talk
Yeah.
about which another paper you can give. Okay. Any other doubt?
Okay.
Edwin,
No,
Suhani, Mahi, any other doubt? Thank you so much. I hope everything was clear. Three of you all, Edwin, Suhani, Mahi. I hope I made myself very clear when I was talking about everything. I hope I did not bore you all with a lot of explanation, but it was very important to give you a gist of all the chapters. So I tried to keep it short and crisp. But yeah, the portion is vast, and sometimes it could get boring for you all to solve. But I'll make sure to make it as interesting as possible. Yeah. With that, I think we are coming to an end to today's orientation session. If you have any doubts, you can ask on the group. You can give me a call. I'm on the group myself. Oh, and we will meet next Saturday, 6 p.m. for chapter number 15 revision and doubt solving book. I'll post the video lectures on the group today itself. By evening, I'll post the targets and the video lectures. You can start watching it, you can start solving it. And if you have further any doubts, you can ask me on the group, on my person chat, you can call me and you can reach out to me. Thank you so much for joining. This is Om from the Actuarial Academy.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Edwin, for joining.